I knew for a fact I didn't remotely go after the things that I wanted to as a kid. Like, I just stopped dreaming.
Today's guest is an award-winning travel and food blogger.
Travel journalist and star of Never Say Never says your next adventure starts with stepping out of your comfort zone and challenging your own limits.
Mr. Jeff Jenkins.
Let's make some noise for Jeff Jenkins, everybody!
With my family, like, it was like, Jeff's going to Japan. That's when I started learning, like, oh, like I'm being bold. I'm doing stuff that other people aren't doing.
You're the go-to, get out of your comfort zone guy. Not everybody grows up with the confidence to go do everything. When did you get the confidence, and when did you kind of give yourself the permission?
Well, that word permission is such a big one. My first time ever getting on an airplane was at 20 years old. I didn't know who was picking me up from the airport. If I don't get picked up, I'm just lost. I went and somebody was there to pick me up. I think that just like dissolved all my fears. In my journey through stepping outside of my comfort zone, as I have embraced the adversity that comes, there is something beautiful on the other end.
Have you ever had a time where you were like, okay, I've gone too far outside my comfort zone on this one?
There's multiple times I literally thought I was gonna die.
Jeff Jenkins, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here.
You're the go-to, get out of your comfort zone guy. And the reason I say that is because last year, your show on Nat Geo premiered, Never Say Never.
Yes.
With Jeff Jenkins. Great show. If our listeners haven't seen it, it is uplifting, it's adventurous, it's got all the sort of like juicy suspense of a reality show without the drama,
Yeah.
you know, without the like interpersonal drama.
Yeah.
And it's just a very sweet show, and it'll make you feel like you can do anything. So if people haven't watched it, definitely check it out. It's on Nat Geo.
Nat Geo,
Yeah.
And thank you so much for saying all that.
It's such a great show. So you're coming off that year. You've got a children's book that's
Yes,
out.
yes.
You're doing everything.
We're trying, we're doing it. And that's the getting outside of your comfort zone.
Not everybody grows up with the confidence to go do everything.
Yeah.
So at what point did you say, oh, I'm actually going to go do all those things? Like, when did you get the confidence, and when did you kind of give yourself the permission? What was the turning point for you?
Ooh, well, that word permission is such a big one. Unfortunately, it was when my stepfather passed that I started questioning so many things. He died when he was like 54, and it really shifted my worldview, and it shifted how I wanted to present myself and what I wanted to accomplish before I passed. And so I think that's what started it. But it still took a lot of bridge building. And I like what Denzel Washington says. He says that dreams are just dreams if you don't have goals to go with the dreams. So I found ways to build out these goals. I have like 109 goals of things I wanted to do before I died. I've done almost like half of them now. It's like just casting a vision. That's what I started doing. I'd like really started casting a vision of like the things I wanted to do before I died, and asking myself the question, just like my kid's book, why not me?
How did you even start putting all these goals on paper?
Well, I read this book, and this is that time where my dad passed, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. So I found this book. I can't even remember the name of this book, but I started like reading the book, and the book is so good. And it got to the point of talking about dreams, and I knew where the book was going about dreams, and I just like straight up closed the book. Like I saw that and I said, oh, nope, this ain't it. Nope, I'm not doing it. Because I knew exactly what it was going to say. It was going to say, you haven't gone for your dreams. I knew for a fact I didn't remotely go after the things that I wanted to as a kid. Like I just stopped dreaming. And then 2 weeks later, I came back to that book and I was like, I think I have it in me. Let me go ahead and read this chapter. And when I got to that chapter, that's when it was telling me right then, like, hey, you're not dreaming. And why are you not dreaming? And so how about we start doing these dreams? And so the exercise in there was to have 101 goals. And I could only come up with 10 when I did it. And so I had to actually go to like the internet to find other people's goals just to keep that thing going, because I think that exercise got me to to really think and was like, oh, and then to see other people's goals, I was like, wait, that could be one of the answers? Like, oh man, let me add that to it. Go skydiving or get on the hot air balloon. Like, yeah, I want to do that. Go cage dive with great white sharks. These are all the things I would love to have done. And so I added that to the list. And then I read a book called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. I highly recommend the book. And in the book, it said, they wanted you to dream big. They wanted you to have these audacious goals, these massive goals, the things that would get you excited to get out of bed. So it was like, first, give yourself permission to actually do it. And then before you even dream about it, give yourself permission to believe that whatever you were to dream actually would happen for you. And like, just like sit in it and be like, oh, like if you wanted a TV show, like dream about having that TV show and give yourself permission that like you can have this. It's not just for these other people that you just see on TV. And so I did that, but then they said times it by 10. And I said, oh, wait, what? So now it's like taking you outside of your comfort zone. And that's where like the dreaming big and things started coming from. Because I also started a water well project in Rwanda. And that was one of the number one reasons for me where I asked myself the question then of like, if money wasn't an option or it wasn't an obstacle and like whatever you used to dream was to actually happen for you, like what would you do? And that's when I told myself I would travel the world, help people and get paid to do it. So that was, 7 years now? It's going to go on 7 years.
And in that 7 years, you have built wells, you have helped people, you have had a TV show, you've got a book out. That's a lifetime worth of goals.
Yeah.
Why do you think people are so stuck in their comfort zones?
It's how we were raised in some ways. Like a lot of times there's not like the representation to go after some things. Like my nephews and nieces, like I don't think they will think that the sky's the limit because of what I've been able to accomplish and things like that. So they should have an example of that. So not having that, middle school, man. Oh man. Middle school jacks up a lot of people. I was a middle school teacher, and it jacks up kids. Oh, it really does. I don't know what it is about that time because they're all just like figuring themselves out and the hormones are going and things like that to where it's like you're almost separating yourself right then. You're almost like putting yourself in this category of like, oh, I'm going to be one of the smart kids or I want to be like these knuckleheads over here. Like it was like you almost had to like choose a way. And I think that definitely affects it because even when I do talk to people, they do go back to their grade school moments of why they possibly don't do the things that they do now.
I think that's interesting what you're saying about like self-selecting. You almost are choosing your personality long before you know the consequences of that or who you really are. You don't know who you are when you're 12.
When I went to college, I did this program called Camp Adventure. And when I was in it, I was able to like travel around the world. And it was in those moments of like traveling around the world. Like my first time was going to Japan. First time ever getting on an airplane was at 20 years old. And so like I was like nervous and I didn't know who was picking me up from the airport. And I think that was the biggest challenge out of everything that I even cared about. Like I didn't almost care about anything. Like, bro, who's picking me up from this airport? I'm finna go to a whole nother country and I'm flying there by myself. Like if I don't get picked up, I'm just lost. I'm by myself. And so the fact that somebody picked me up, like I went and somebody was there to pick me up, I don't know, I think that just like dissolved all my fears about like just travel and things like that. It was that one little moment. So I feel like I was getting snippets from all my travel on becoming more bold because at that time, I didn't see a lot of Black people, period, traveling the world. And even with my family, like they made that a big deal. They was like, Jeff's going to Japan. But it was so out of their box and out of their comfort zones. I mean, that's when I started learning like, oh, like I'm being bold. I'm doing stuff that other people aren't doing.
And the more you do it, the easier it is.
Yes.
I had that same experience with thinking about my first overseas flight. I was so scared. My mom was praying for me the whole week and like fasting the ladies at church were meeting because I was getting on a plane. I mean, I was pretty convinced that was going to be the end of me because I was going somewhere else. Now, I get on a plane, I don't even think about it. It's just like driving somewhere. I think nothing of it. And knowing that, I could have spent my whole life scared and stayed home because I was scared, but taking the one step to get on a plane and go to London, which London is a very good starter city, a good place to go.
They speak English.
They speak English. It's easy to get around. There's public transportation. Like that's a great place to start. Japan, Totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different vibe. I want to talk about your Washington Post interview. And you talk about how you went to help save the coral reefs in the Florida Keys, and you were doing that via scuba diving. But you were claustrophobic. So for somebody that has claustrophobia, scuba diving is not ideal.
Yeah.
So how did that change everything for you? Like once you got in the water and did it the first time, like how did it change you?
Well, I wasn't claustrophobic,
Okay.
but I think the first time I did it, it brought like this claustrophobia to me. But that first time I went in, that like jacked me up because I was like, hey, this is a whole new fear and anxiety that I've never had.
You didn't even know you
before.
had it.
Yeah, at
So
all.
you got in.
And I was like, hey, like I feel like everything's just closed in on me. And I was like, what's going on? But I remember this lady, my instructor, I was like panicking a little bit, like freaking out a little bit. And she just looked at me. She did the focus fox. She said, hey, and she said, and did it again. And I said, and it just calmed me down so much that I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And then it was like, once again, the more you do it, the less fear there is. Because I still have fear getting in and the anxiety about getting back into the water. Once again, I didn't know anybody my size scuba diving. I didn't even know if there was a vest that could fit me, a BCD that could fit me. How will my lungs do underwater compared to somebody that's a straight body person that's not my size? And the one thing I love about scuba diving and the scuba diving community is that they said scuba diving is one of the most accessible activities that you can do, and it really is. They was like, scuba diving is for everyone, and they really, really have made it for everyone. Like we're talking about people who are like quadriplegic or paraplegic and are blind or getting in and going scuba diving. So
I'm a diver too, so I'm
I
right
love
there
it.
with you.
I love it.
It's very scary to get started. It is a new sensation, but it's one of those things like you do it and you know the end game is going to be worth it because everybody wouldn't do it if there wasn't some really great reason. And then when you're on the reef,
you're in another
game
world.
changer.
You're literally in another world, and that to me is worth it.
the more you step out of your comfort zone, the more you discover new things to freak out about. But again, it's like a muscle, right? You keep doing it and eventually things that used to freak you out will roll off your back, especially when it comes to travel.
The one thing I feel like in my journey through everything and stepping outside of my comfort zone is that as I have embraced the adversity that comes, there is something beautiful on the other end. Me about to lose my breath going and climbing up some mountain or hiking up, and like I'm just like, I'm slowly getting there, and then you get to the top and was like, oh my gosh, this view was so worth it.
This is a AAA Travel Minute. I'm Kaylin Seigan, a AAA travel advisor. Getting ready to travel is so exciting, but what type of suitcase is best for you? A black nylon duffel bag with super convenient zippers? Or a pink polycarbonate clamshell case on wheels? Soft-sided luggage is usually more flexible, allowing for additional space to pack. It typically features exterior pockets, which are helpful for accessing items on the go, like travel documents and a water bottle. Hardshell suitcases are generally stronger and offer more protection from spilled liquids or beatdowns in the cargo compartment, but they tend to be heavier and provide less room for clothes, souvenirs, and anything else you're taking with you. Ultimately, the choice between soft-sided and hard-shelled luggage comes down to personal preference. After considering how you'd like to travel, all that should be left to do is decide the color of your luggage.
As the host of Nat Geo's Never Say Never, you meet a lot of people when you're out there doing these exciting things. You're scuba diving, you're meeting sharks, you're sumo wrestling. You had some really fun and interesting episodes. But you're meeting all these different kind of people. What examples have you experienced or witnessed of other travelers kind of getting outside their comfort zones, or what have you learned from other people along the way? Because all of our different hangups are ours. Not everybody's afraid of the same thing.
It's very subjective, super subjective. What our hang up is not somebody else's hang up. And what I've learned is not that I'm seeing people get outside of their comfort zones. I'm just seeing them in their element. Like they're greeting me. And even for the show, it was like, let me bring you into my house. let me bring you into like my life and what I do, and let me see if we can do this together kind of thing. And so that's how I felt like I got to see from others. And it was like them, once again, being the example, being the representation for me to be like, oh, okay, I think I can do that too then.
You look at other people and you think they've got it all together, and you think, you know, I see you on stage, I see you on your TV show, I see you on a podcast, and you just have it all together, and you've never been afraid of anything a day in your life.
Yeah.
And that's probably not true for almost anybody, right?
And most of this stuff is just a facade. Like it's not real, or even the image that you paint about someone could be totally false. And I'm learning that, like, even through family members and friends, that like they'll see me doing all these different things, but they don't know all the other stuff that I have going on. And so that's why people who are like striving for like their goals, and I do sometimes like have a lot of empathy for them, because I know them going for things that other people aren't going for can be very lonely and stressful and tiring and exhausting. And I just said 2 words that are the same, but like literally it's a lot. And a lot of times if they knew all that people had to go through, they would not be as envious.
Yeah. Well, we share the highlight reels.
Yeah.
And I don't often share the I'm scared, I'm waffling, should I do this? Should I try it? Can I handle it? You know, I don't love the phrase fake it till you make it, because I don't like the idea of being inauthentic, but it's more about like faking your confidence and just going for it.
It's just like just being brave to go for it.
Yes.
Like that's the confidence.
Yes,
like,
it's doing it scared.
Doing it scared. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing it scared.
That is such a good, like, I need to tattoo that on me, because I feel like that has been the motto. Because I was a very scared child. Scared, shy, didn't know anything outside my bubble, wasn't very confident, you know, scared to talk to adults, scared to make a phone call.
Yeah.
And look at us now.
Come on.
And and it wasn't one step. It was 1,000 million steps that were small and all very scary. If somebody's just kind of giving this a thought, like, what is my comfort zone when it comes to travel? How far should you stretch it when you're traveling? And how do you know if you're pushing it too far?
You have to come up with your own vision. You have to have your own goals and your own dreams, because everybody's dreams are different. And so it's what you want. And you have to give yourself permission to actually want these things, and permission to know that you can have those things.
Well, I think it's really smart to put the goals down on paper, because knowing, let's say, that you want to go shark cage diving in South Africa, you know that's the end game, but there's going to be a lot of steps you have to take to get there, right?
You know, there was a step for that too. Like, 1, I had to get to South Africa. 2, I had to bring my own wetsuit. I've never seen a plus-size person in a wetsuit in my life at that point. And so I was like, wait, is there even a wetsuit for me? And I know that it was mandatory that you needed one. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure they're not going to have my size. So let me see if I can go buy one. And I bought one. It was so tight. And then, even when we got to, I needed some water on it and stuff like that. It was brand new. So, there was so many different steps, but I wanted the outcome. And so that also, me writing it down, made it easier. It's great to know the destination.
Yeah.
So that you can have somewhat of a roadmap to get to there. And a lot of times people are just aimlessly doing stuff with no destination. And that's why, like, writing these things down gives you that destination, and it gives you that, like, if you want to go from A to B, B is over here and you're at A. So now I got to squiggle on through to B. So
yeah, because there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily that fun when you want to go travel somewhere far away. It's not that fun looking for flights and necessarily figuring it all out,
or spending your own money,
or spending your money, right? Like saving your money and thinking about how long it takes to get ready for a trip and packing. That's not that fun. That's not my favorite thing. And you have to think ahead. Are they going to have my size? Is it going to fit me? Is it going to be comfortable? There's a million things to think about.
And I also learned, even with that, I was a person that I'll go over there and then figure it out. instead of just taking the time to figure it out before I got there, because I wasted so much time trying to figure it out right when I got there. And I think that's another hiccup for a lot of people as well. Instead of planning it ahead of time, like just sacrificing a couple of hours, like putting some stuff on paper, researching, it makes a world of a difference that like what you plan will actually happen when you get there.
Have you ever had a time, whether for your show or just traveling independently, where you were like, okay, I've gone too far outside my comfort zone on this one?
I mean, multiple times. You know, like even with the show, I did the bridge in the sky, and that was like this colorful bridge that had these wood planks that were like gaps. And the gaps was just the earth. Or you can just, it was air, and then you can see the earth a mile down. And I was like, there's no reason for me to do this ever again. Like I literally will never do it again. I have no plans to ever go do that again. Like I'm done. Like it's
You did it.
That did it, and that was it. Like it didn't even bring any satisfaction to me. Like at all. Like, but I thought about other people in that moment, and they might want to do it. And then they might do it and like just enjoy it and love it and be one of their greatest experiences ever. So I just wanted to be that representation. But yeah, there's multiple times. Like I was in Croatia, and I literally thought I was gonna die. It was hot. I had a couple of drinks in me already. Oh, no. And they said it was gonna be a 15-minute hike. It was 45, maybe an hour for me to get back up. And I said, hey, this is not good. And I said, guys, just leave me or go get somebody, because I don't know if I'm gonna make it. So it's those moments of pushing yourself that you just have to be safe. You have to know your body. And I didn't know my body until I learned my body.
Yeah.
And so I know things now that I can and can't do too sometimes.
There is that fine line of taking care of yourself and not overdoing it, but still getting outside your comfort zone, facing your fears, whatever it may be, because adventures are worth it.
Yeah, safety comes first, but don't let your worry or your anxiety or fear be the thing that keeps you from doing it, even the first time.
Yeah.
And a lot of times somebody will make that the excuse quickly. Well, I know I'm just trying to be safe and I don't want to do it. Like, come on, but sometimes there has to be just that little edge of pushing and nudging.
Yeah.
And somebody can also influence your getting out of your comfort zone too. So
yeah, I will say peer pressure has been a real helpful thing for me throughout my life to make me jump off things and dive off things and just do things maybe I wouldn't have done otherwise. There's something to be said about going with friends who can encourage you, but you also have to take care of yourself and have those boundaries.
And I've learned sometimes if you are going to do it, and it's just a helpful tip, that if you're going to do it, just do it. Because sometimes, like, especially like if you were jumping off a cliff, a lot of times people can hesitate. And I watched this movie called Fly on National Geographic, maybe one of my favorite documentaries I've ever seen. And it's one of the scariest documentaries I've ever seen. And it's all about jumping out of your comfort zone, because they're jumping. They're definitely jumping. And they're like wingsuit guys. But they said if you start that countdown, you're going. So just get in your mind, the moment it comes out your mouth, that the moment you start,
There's
you can't
no stopping.
hesitate. You
just
cannot,
go.
because that's how people hurt themselves, and potentially it could be fatal. So,
Like, why do you think these types of travel, this out of your comfort zone travel, is important? And how does it compare to traveling to just like relax and sit by the pool? Do you think these things are both important? Do you think you need a balance?
I think there needs to be balance, and it's really hard for me to relax. Oh, it's tough.
Yes.
It is tough, especially because you're just in a mode and you're just always in that mode, and you have to figure it out. And so I always say there needs to be some kind of balance to like relaxing and then going for those like adventurous things. Before, when I was younger, like hearing about like a sandals or something like that, or even a cruise, I was like, that's a waste of like money going to these different destinations and don't even leave the resort. Now I'm like, well, you know what? That sounds great. Like,
sounds
just give me a view and I feel the air and smell the sea. And I'm like, man, I'm good on that. But yeah, like before, I'd be like, I would never stay in one of those things. Now I would in a heartbeat. So sandals, if you're listening,
Call us up.
we need a trip.
Thank you for being here, Jeff.
I'm glad to be here. This is an honor.
You're a doll. We'll have you back again, I'm sure.
Please, I love it.